He was born on 7 October 1952 in Leningrad, Russia. He is the youngest of three children. His father was Vladimir Spiridonovich Putin and his mother was Maria Ivanovna Putin. Vladimir Putin's grandfather named Spiridon Putin was a personal cook to the Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin. His mother was a factory worker and his father was a conscript in the Soviet Navy. He served in the submarine fleet in the early 1930s. His father also served in the destruction battalion of the NKVD in early World War II. Later he was transferred to the regular army and in 1942 was severely wounded. Mr. Putin recalls, "I came from an ordinary family and this is how I lived for a long time, nearly my whole life. I lived as an average normal person and I have always maintained that connection." After the war, Putin's family moved into a room in a communal apartment in a typical St. Petersburg dwelling house on Boskov Lane. He attended primary school in Leningrad in 1968. After 8th grade, he attended high school. It was a chemistry-focused magnet school under the aegis of a technology institute and he completed his studies there in 1970. He did his graduation in 1975. His thesis was on the most favored nation trading principle in international law. He joined the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and remained a member until it ceased to exist. He met Anatoly Sobchak, who was an assistant professor and taught business and law. Later became the co-author of the Russian Constitution and of the corruption schemes persecuted in France. He married Lyudmila Shkribneva and the couple has two daughters, Maria and Katerina. He served around 15 years as a foreign intelligence officer for the KGB, including 6 years in Dresden, East Germany. He retired from the active KGB service in 1990 with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and returned to Russia to become a protector of Leningrad State University and had responsibility for the institution's external relations. He then became an advisor to Sobchak, the first democratically elected mayor of St. Petersburg. He gained the confidence of Sobchak and is known for his abilities to get things done. He had risen to the post of first deputy mayor in 1994. He then moved to Moscow in 1996 and joined the presidential staff as deputy to Pavel Borodin, the Kremlin's chief administrator. He grew close to fellow Leningrader Anatoly Chavez and moved to administrative positions. Boris Yeltsin in July 1998 made Putin director of the Federal Security Service. Thereafter, he became the secretary of the influential Security Council. In 1999, Yeltsin appointed Putin as prime minister. Virtually, he was not well known to the public. His approval ratings to the public soared when he launched a well-organized military operation against secessional rebels in Chechnya. The public in Russia appreciated the coolness of Putin. He further supported a new electoral bloc unity and ensured success in the December parliamentary election. Yeltsin unexpectedly announced his resignation on 31st December 1999 and named Putin as acting president. Putin easily won the March 2000 election with about 53% of the vote. As president, he promised to end corruption and also create a strong regulated market economy. He quickly reasserted control over Russia's 89 regions and republics. He divided them into 7 new federal districts and each was headed by a representative appointed by the president. He removed right of the regional governors to sit on the Federation Council, which is the upper house of the Russian parliament. In Chechnya, he faced a difficult situation mainly from rebels who started terrorist attacks in Moscow and guerrilla attacks on Russian troops from the region's mountains. He also declared a military campaign in 2002, but casualties remained high. In 2001, he strongly objected to US President George Bush's decision to abandon the 1972 anti-ballistic missile treaty. In 2002 and 3, Putin joined the German Chancellor Gerhard Schröder and Frank Jacques, opposed US and British plans to use force to push Saddam Hussein's government in Iraq. The economy of the country saw growth after a prolonged recession in 1990s and so Putin was easily re-elected in March 2004 in December 2007 in parliamentary elections. Putin's party, United Russia, won an overwhelming majority of seats. A constitutional provision forced Putin to step down in 2008 and he chose Dmitry Medvedev as his successor. In March 2008, Dmitry Medvedev won the presidential election and Putin was announced to be the chairman of the United Russia Party. Medvedev nominated Vladimir Putin as the country's prime minister within hours of taking office on 7 May 2008. On 24 September 2011, at the United Russia's Congress in Moscow, Medvedev officially proposed that Putin stand for the presidency in 2012. This offer was accepted by Putin. However, on 4 March 2012, Putin was elected to a third term as the president of Russia. In 2018, he won the presidential election with more than 76% votes. On 7 May 2018, his fourth term began and will last until 2024. Also on the same day, he invited Dmitry Medvedev to form a new government. He took part in the opening of the movement along the highway section of the Crimean Bridge on 15 May 2018. He signed decrees on the composition of the new government on 18 May 2018. He further announced that he would not run for president in 2024 on 25 May 2018. He opened the 21st FIFA World Cup on 14 June 2018 and it took place in Russia for the first time. Dmitry Medvedev and his entire government resigned on 15 January 2020 after Vladimir Putin's address to the Federal Assembly. Putin also suggested major constitutional amendments that could extend his political power after the presidency. It was suggested by the president that Medvedev take the new created post of deputy chairman of the Security Council. Putin on the same day nominated Mikhail Mishustin, head of the country's Federal Tax Service, for the post of Prime Minister. The next day, he was confirmed by the State Duma to the post and appointed Prime Minister by Vladimir Putin's decree. This was the first time a Prime Minister was confirmed without any votes against. Mishustin presented to Vladimir Putin a draft structure of his cabinet on 21st January 2020. The president signed a decree on the structure of the cabinet and appointed the proposed ministers on the same day. Putin is Russian Orthodox. His mother was a devoted Christian believer who attended the Russian Orthodox Church while his father was an atheist. Though his mother kept no icons at home, she attended church regularly despite government persecution of her religion at that time. His mother secretly baptized him as a baby and she regularly took him to services. According to Putin, his religious awakening began after a serious car crash involving his wife in 1993 and a life-threatening fire that burned down their dacha in August 1996. Shortly before an official visit to Israel, Putin's mother gave him his baptismal cross, telling him to get it blessed. Putin states, "I did as she said and then put the cross around my neck. I have never taken it off since." When asked in 2007 whether he believes in God, he responded, "There are things I believe which should in not my positions. At least be shared with the public at large of everybody's consumption because it would look like self-advising or a political striptease." According to the Sun's report, Putin has gold reserve worth $9,641 billion, a convoy of luxury cars and private jets, and several intelligence palaces, saying that it seems that he has been preparing for many years the sanction that the West is now applying to them. Last week, the Kremlin's ambassador to Sweden, Tatarin Siv, warned that the more pressure the West puts on Russia, the stronger it will respond. We don't care about their restrictions. Russia is one of the most advanced gold buyers in the world. Russia has huge gold reserves in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Yekaterinburg, which are believed to help Moscow to face Western sanctions. According to Forbes, Russia had gold reserves of 1.4 billion pounds in 1995, but today Putin has gold reserves of 95 billion pounds. This gold is kept under tight security at mysterious places. Putin has photographed wearing a number of expensive wrist watches, collectively valued at $700,000, nearly 6 times his annual salary. Putin has been known on occasion to give watches valued at thousands of dollars as gifts to peasants and factory workers. The most controversial of Mr. Putin's alleged properties is Blanchik Palace, located on a peninsula on the Black Sea coast. Worth a whopping $1.5 billion, the Italian estate made headlines recently after Russian anti-corruption activists leaked photos of its interior. Nearly 500 photographs and a video of Putin's palace were published by Alexei Navalny Anti-Corruption Foundation, showing the home they have dubbed Putin's Palace includes a huge marble swimming pool decorated with the busts of Greek gods, a lounge with pole-off dancing, a casino, wine cellar, theater, and other godly design amenities likened to the style of Louis. The photo also shows the 11-bedroom mansion has been decorated with hundreds of gilded double-headed eagles, symbol of Russian state. Outside you shall find multiple helicopter landing pads, an unfinished amphitheater, formal gardens and arboretum, accommodation for security, a vineyard, an underground hockey rink, a church in a sculptured garden. The Moscow Kremlin has been the main official residence of Russian leaders. The president's office is located on the north wing of the Kremlin Senate, an historical building built by the order of Catherine the Great from 1776 to 1787. Another official residence for Mr. Putin use is located in Novgorod region and goes by three different names: Velde Uzain and Dolji Brudi. The residence was originally planned as a duchy for Stalin, but the elite found the location too dangerous. In the 1930s, the residence was the only building on a small peninsula and was surrounded by dense forest, with only one escape route to the mainland, says Russia Beyond. Putin has received 5 dogs from various nations' leaders: Koni, Buffy, Yomi, Varni, and Pasha. Koni died in 2014 when Putin first became president. The family had 2 poodles, Lucia and Rodrigo. They reportedly stayed with his ex-wife Lyudmila after their divorce. Putin watched football and sports FC Zenit St. Petersburg. He also displays an interest in ice hockey and bandy. Putin has been practicing judo since he was 11 years old, before switching to sambo. At the age of 14, he won the competitions in both sports in Leningrad. He was awarded 8 Dan of the black belt in 2012, becoming the first Russian to achieve this status. Putin also practices karate. He co-authored a book entitled Judo with Vladimir Putin in Russia. Benjamin Witz, a black belt in Taekwondo and Aikido and the editor of Lawfare, has disputed Putin's martial arts skills, stating that there is no video evidence of Putin displaying any real noteworthy judo skills.